Come on. It's fast breaks. Listen. We back with another one.
Fast breaks, yeah, we coming with the takes. Never early, never late, but we always push the pace, yeah. And we really study tape, y'all just view the highlights. Man, we really watching games, yeah. You just watch from the stands. We run 3-man weeks, Paul, Dre, and Allen, yeah. Way more than a fan. We got love for the game, we don't have to pretend. Got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. I'm the run the fast break, throw me the outlet. Yeah, we got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. Time to run the fast break, throw me the outlet. We on the break, it's fast break. We on the break, it's fast break. Let's go.
This man is in his vacation mode. Look at him.
Yeah.
That's theme song on YouTube.
It's fast break.
That's a big fact.
To this all summer. What up, Fast Breaks family? Coming at you for the second time this week. Tap in. For those of you who don't know us, we want to introduce ourselves and thank you for choosing us as your audio adventure this Saturday morning. My name is Rhoda, hostess with the mostest, and you know this, coming to you live on site, remote. The grind doesn't stop. I got family obligations, but I woke up and I said I still got a pod.
That's crazy.
This man right here, they call him King Dre. Over there, that's Alan the man, and this is Coach Paul. Our ensemble humbly comes to you with the name Fast Breaks. Can I get a rebound? Outlet. Hope I don't wake housekeeping up.
Nah, get them up. They need to tap in.
Well,
Are
chill.
we all wearing all black? What's good with us?
I'm wearing blue.
That's you're right.
All
You're
right,
right.
word.
I'm gonna change. Hold on, wait. I'll be right back. I'm gonna change. I'll be right back.
Chill.
I'm in Minnesota, so I don't want to talk basketball too loud. There's a lot of depressed people over here.
That's really crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Really crazy. The most depressed people aren't even there though. They're in Cancun right now, so you good?
No, they're doing okay because they can at least do that. They just leave their fans here to suffer.
That's facts. That's really crazy when you think about it. Y'all will be all right.
Is this going up there, like Charles said?
I'm saying. All right. We know what the topic is. We know what the business is. NBA Finals. We've already sort of started giving our thoughts on Game 1 during the live stream. Thank y'all to everyone that tapped into the live stream. We're definitely going to do that again. And again, let us know if you want more live content from the Fast Breaks family, like a Twitch. We always talking about 2K, and that might be some interesting content for y'all. So we having some talks. But I want to quickly revisit just now the game is done. We've had a day to process. Very, very brief overall reactions to Game 1. Paul, let's start with you.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Kyrie choked. No, not choked. I mean, he had a bad game. That's all. That's really it to me because the Celtics were very comfortable at home. They did what they were supposed. Well, let me say I think KP performed above and beyond, but and Jaylen Brown too, but to a lesser extent. But KP was just like ridiculous in the first quarter. He set the tone. He made sure that they were going to win. But yeah, Kyrie didn't show up. When they brought it back to 8, I thought it was a wrap. When they brought it back to 8, I thought it was a wrap for the Celtics because I thought Kyrie was going to help out, but then he didn't help out, and then that was it. They went back on their run, but yeah, I mean, look, you can't overreact. I think a lot of people, a lot of casuals are going to look at that and say, oh, this is going to be a sweep. Look at how they treated the Mavericks. It's not.
Right.
It's not. Celtics better show up because I know the Mavericks are. I know Kyrie is. So.
All right. Alan, what you thinking? Just quick base reactions to game 1. How'd it leave you feeling?
Yeah, much of what Paul said, honestly, I think just KP, bro. When Gabe, when the Celtics made that trade last season, a lot of people, most people, including myself, said that if they win the championship, he's going to be like a key piece of that, and I think he showed that. He's just hard to match up against, especially when you're playing like that. It's real hard to contain him. So, yeah, much like Paul said, he came out swinging in the first half. I thought he was going to be good on defense, which he was, but I think he went over and beyond on offense, and I think that was the biggest factor. Obviously, we talked about Jason Tatum too, but KP was a huge factor.
Dre, I see you really did go get a black shirt. So, how were you feeling?
I think Kate.
That's crazy. Oh my Lord!
I think KP had a point to prove, and that point was he's the best white player in this series, and he tried to do that.
You can't even say that. Luka balled out too. Don't
hey, at least he was the best white player in that first game. Yeah, no, but let me stop.
First quarter,
craziness.
Let me stop. KP did his thing. I said Jason Tatum should have been the one to go off. Pharaoh told me I was wrong about that. I still think he should have been the one to go off, but I like the way that they won. And I think for all the reasons that we discussed last week, this might continue the momentum change. My biggest thing was if KP comes back, I really don't see the Mavs winning. I still think this is a 6-game series, so my opinions on that have not changed. I think the Mavericks are going to, as Paul said, are going to come out game 2, and I fully expect them to. But right now, it's kill or be killed. And first game, Mavs did not look ready, but the Celtics looked very, very comfortable. So let's fix that.
So let's get into the nuance, and I'm glad that you brought up some takes from last week because I do want to revisit our predictions because we did tell the family to watch the game and see if anything we said come true, and I think a fair amount of it did.
Yeah.
So talk to me about let's start with the Celtics defense because we spent a lot of time thinking about how they're going to contain Luka and Kyrie. I personally thought it was going to be a hard trap, but I think we all were agreed that like a switching probably wouldn't work. But Dre, I do think to your point, I do think you did say Al Horford and KP in the switch would be able to move a little better. Yes. And I think that's what we saw. So how do we feel about, I mean, Luka still got off, but it clearly worked to some degree against Kyrie. So how do we feel about the Celtics defensive game plan based on what we thought it might be and what actually happened?
So I think we might have complicated a little bit last week in a way that isn't necessary when you have 2 dynamic scorers on the floor, right? Because ideally, and this usually works in a regular season kind of thing, but you lock up one player, the other player struggles, and then you end up losing 10, 15 points. The difference that because Kyrie comes out, he had 12 points that game. If Kyrie does what Kyrie does, this is a much closer game. That big difference of him not being able to get off the way he wants to or not being as efficient. That goes to a lot of the how Dallas has been winning their games and how if they're going to be successful against the Celtics, they're going to need to. Also, and I know we're not talking about it yet, but it's an exposure of Kyrie on both sides of the ball because a lot of times they're also attacking Kyrie.
Which is what I said. Which is what I said. The Mavs were gonna match up on the other end, but keep going.
I'm sorry.
You said exposed?
It's a little bit of an exposure. It's a little bit of an exposure because they are attacking. I've seen a lot of attacking on defense. They are attacking him on offense as well. It's crazy. So Kyrie Irving is the most important player for the Mavericks right now. One unequivocally, and he is at the very center of the Celtics defensive plan, and it shows.
Alan, I'm gonna go to you because me and you had a long back and forth about what the matchups were gonna be, and we definitely got Drew on Kai right. Interestingly enough, it looked like JB and JT were taking turns on Luka. Pause. Just based on whoever got back first.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's craziness.
Whoa, that sentence was crazy.
Yeah, I know. I just peeped the end of the sentence. But anyway, yeah, they seem to be switching that on and off. But then it looked like they were if JT was off, he was on PJ. But if JB was off, he was on either Derrick Jones or somebody, whoever the screener for Luka or Kai were going to be. And so it's like we said, JB ended up being the major help man, and Paul's definitely going to want to gas all the help defensive plays that JB had. But Alan, what are you thinking about in sort of the matchups? We talked about already sort of the switching. What do you think about the matchups and the help rotations of the Celtics?
Yeah, I think the matchups they started off actually really well. Something interesting that I saw, I think to start off the game, JT was on Gafford to start off the game, so that way when they switched, he was able to get on Luka after the switches and everything. I thought that was really well, but it's gonna be tough for Dallas, man. This matchup is hard for them. They got everyone that can match up against them. So Magic got to choose between the defense and offense. So I guess we could talk about that soon. But I think Drew Holiday, he messes up Dallas's offense. He messes up Dallas's offense.
Offense, yeah.
Because he messes up Dallas's offense.
He's a disruptor.
He's a disruptor, but just beyond that, I think he's so sneakily strong.
Yes.
That they can't get by him, bro.
And what's crazy, he doesn't.
He can't get by him, and he's just forcing Kyrie into the next tall guy right behind him, which is usually KP. And it's been so tough for Kyrie. And he in the second half he even did it against Luka, which kind of surprised me. But then I heard someone point out the type of defender that Drew is kind of historically the type that's given Luka the most problems. Like Luke Dort did it.
Yeah.
Back in Philly, Ben Simmons is doing it because of their strength and solidness, and that's the type that gives Luka.
He can't
problems.
Bully you.
That's correct, and that's where people don't underestimate how often Luka plays bully ball. It's the same way LeBron used to act. Well, not the same exactly.
It's not
same mentality. Same mentality. You know what I'm saying? And that's the strength of having a 6'8" point guard, right? I don't know how much.
We're still calling Luka a point guard, bro.
He's a point guard.
We're still
Luka's a point guard. Luka's a point guard, bro. Luka's a point guard.
RIP point guard.
And then to your point, Pharaoh, when you talked about how they going to they might have trapped, they didn't really trap or double Luka this time, and it worked out in favor.
Right.
He wasn't able to get any of his assists off or anything like that, like he usually does. So
right, Paul, talk to me about that. They
Great
did
defense.
switch. But I saw, and I pointed this out during the game, heavy help from your man JB. Luka, it seemed to me, was settling a lot early, and it seemed like that may be the game plan. They said, okay, you hit one game winner over length on a switch. And they said, we're going to make you have to make that shot 12 times to score. And it seemed like he was fine with settling for that in the first half. He sort of got it going, and you pointed out during the game that Luka woke up. What was the difference you saw? What was working against him early, and what did you see him figure out sort of later in the game?
I think he just played with more aggression. I think there was a little bit of nerves, man, on Luka's part. I think there was a little bit of nerves.
You saying them lights get bright?
Yeah. Hold on.
Hey, that's crazy. And then
I
was about to say something crazy. Never mind.
Man, it's too early for all that. Listen.
Hey.
All I'm saying is he woke up in the second half, really like the late second quarter, and he brought it back to 8 at one point. Kyrie is.
But wait, before you move off Luka, what do you think he was just making the shots they were giving him?
Yeah.
Or did you see him sort of looking to attack in a new way?
I think he
I don't
played.
know that
He
I
played
saw
with
that
more
much.
aggression. He played
Yeah.
with more confidence. He took a lot. See, here's the thing, right? We got to reevaluate the word settling for jump shots in this era.
I agree, actually.
Because it's not settling anymore. This is like the plan.
Yeah, like what is settling? You know what I mean? Like
honestly, I would say people settle for layups now.
Shout out! Well,
that's a crazy.
No, that's crazy.
I'm serious.
That's the ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Settling
every coach in America just got a heart attack listening to you say
that. Settling for layups is an insane statement.
Watch. No, hold on. To finish out my point, go watch any highlight of these AAU,
I will
kids
not.
and all that stuff.
I will not.
Because that you're going to see a lot of that. You are going to see a lot of settling for layups.
They're not making it.
You're seeing a lot of that.
I was watching
That's
a
what's
lot
getting
of
circulated.
AAU players when I was in AAU, and where neither of us made it. That is not the example.
I'm just saying.
Anyway,
I'm sorry, Paul. Keep going.
No, I was just saying, like, the term settling. If you take, it's like all these guys in the NBA got the volume shooter badge in Hall of Fame. So it's like they settle for threes. They take contested threes. They take a lot of threes. They get hot. They get comfortable, and all of a sudden later in the game they're making like 5 in a row, and now their field goal percentage looks crazy. And it's like Luka's the same thing. Like he took a lot of these threes he was taking, he was just making them. And he takes and makes contested threes. I think we underrate how contested the shots the threes specifically that Luka takes are. Like it's because he doesn't have like long limbs like a Tatum or even a Jaylen Brown. Like you could contest the shot, but
he's better at the contested.
Know how to make it.
He's high key better at the contested.
Well,
I've seen him miss an open. There was a play where he missed an open, got the ball right back, and hit it in somebody's face. He's better at contested shots.
Personally, I've always shot better contested because it forces you to put more arc on the ball.
Correct.
Like sometimes when you're wide open, you aim it too much because there's nothing to gauge.
And also, there's a little bit of a mentality thing too. Like if you're wide open, you're always thinking like I gotta make it. But when you're contested, you're like I really gotta make this. I gotta hit this. Well, this sounds just crazy.
Real shooters don't think like that though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I wanna keep going on this point, Paul Brando, because this is an interesting thing. Because I think the same is true for his counterpart Tatum in terms of the volume shooting thing. But before we go over there, I just want to think like, if what you're saying is true, what does settling look like then? Because we can't say that then there's no. You said there was more aggression, right? If there was more aggression, but it still resulted in a three, what does an aggressive offensive attack that results in a step back jump shot look like as opposed to a passive one? I'll take a first stab at it. For me, it looked like he did not want to attack the switch. That when he came off the switch, he sort of just settled into the step back three without even trying to get the defender off balance or even trying to see if he could get into the lane to cause some rotation. It kind of was like, oh, they switched. All right, I'm just going to take this off rip. Almost as if he was like, I have two bigs down there that are going to get the rebound. But that's just not true because the Celtics are one of the greatest rebounding teams I've ever seen in my life. Like, so what was difference? What was the aggressive sort of Luka, and what did that look like if it still comes down to shooting threes? And anyone else chime in if you have feelings on this as well. But I think this is a very interesting thing when we're watching the game. Like if it's the same kind of shots, what makes it different?
I think it's a mental thing. Like he just played harder. He drove harder. Like when he creates space, he doesn't really create space like that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the shots are contested. So I think it's more mental than anything. It doesn't look different in any like technical way or any form or like it doesn't look different. It just looks like he's trying harder. You know what I mean? That's really.
I think it looks. I think he uses less time in the possession.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yes.
I feel like when he's being laid back, he's taking a lot of time in the possession because he's assuming a mistake is going to happen and that he's just going to find it. And I think that was the problem. He was realizing the Celtics weren't making mistakes, and he was having to throw up a three-pointer at the end of a shot clock. And when the period you're talking about, I felt like he was like, no, I'm just going to try to score over this. And I think that's the mental adjustment from the Timberwolves. Is like, as good as the Timberwolves were, he could wait on them to make a mistake. And so that's what him and Kyrie are both doing, is like just sort of riding each possession out until a mistake was made. And the Celtics are not making that mistake. So you have to just go get the bucket. And I think Kyrie tried, and it was very difficult, especially from his position with Drew. And then like Allen said,
the switch for him is
into the help.
Yeah.
And then for Luka, I think he figured out that like, oh, I'm going to have to just finish over this size. Like, I think the respect I give him is I think he realized very early he's not going to get the whistle that he thinks he is.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was maturity, because I think he wanted to complain. It was I want to say 3 plays in the first quarter where like he tried to do his little duck under stuff and rip throughs, and he was like,
it's not going to work.
And I don't know if Kyrie got in his ear or if he just realized that he was just like, okay, yeah, nah, like they're not. This is the finals. Like, it's just not going to go that way. I have to just go get the bucket. All right. Any last comments?
I think too, quick. Yeah. So, Mavericks, stop trying to dunk on Kristaps.
It's not going
Stop trying to go on him.
I think they're trying to get fouls, and they don't realize that he's a precision blocker.
Yes.
He's very
That's Kristaps Porzingis, man. Treat him like Wemby. Like, you start going to the paint, turn the other way.
He will.
A few years ago,
floater.
A few years ago, I remember before Rudy Gobert got on the Timberwolves, ironically, I remember Ant had that quote. He said, "He don't put no Rudy Gobert don't put no fear in my heart. He's not like Kristaps Porzingis or something like that."
That's a quote from his teammate, by the way. He really said that.
He really said that.
And then
that was like the year before.
We should put them together.
Yeah,
that's actually hilarious. Well, never mind. I was gonna say honestly they should have gone after Kristaps Porzingis, but
do you realize the Celtics received first-round picks in the Porzingis trade?
I didn't realize that.
The Wizards gave them first-round picks to take.
It wasn't none of their own picks. It couldn't be none of their own picks because that's.
But that's how bad.
Let me be GM.
Player he was viewed as at the time. At the time,
that's crazy.
You had to get compensation in order to take on his contract.
To take him. That's crazy.
To take him off the team. So
that's
they got
really
2 first-round picks in order to get Kristaps. That's insane.
That is insane.
That was dope.
That's very dumb.
He was lucky that he's in the finals. I'm not even gonna lie.
What?
Jalen Brunson, Kristaps, like, they lucky they're here.
The Mavericks?
Yeah,
they made a lot of risky decisions. I'm not gonna front.
That's a fact.
Oh, that's a good point. The Jalen Brunson thing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it is. Again, it's timelines not matching up.
Right.
Those 3 players, their skill sets all would have complemented each other, but they were together at the wrong time. Right? Like, Luka was not ready to lead. Kristaps was not confident enough to assert how he wanted to play. Because I'll tell you this right now, Rick Carlisle would never let KP do what he did on Thursday. Never in life. He wouldn't even got a sniff at playing like that. Right? And then Brunson, I think I didn't understand. I think Brunson needed more time for proof of concept to himself.
By the time he got nice, they offered him, but it was too late. It was too late by the time they offered him.
Yeah, agreed.
It just didn't. Yeah. Okay, getting off Luka, I think we pretty much touched on Kai. Do we want to sort of? We've talked about what the scheme was against him.
Yeah.
Are there any thoughts about how he bounces back? Are we pretty confident
that
he'll bounce back?
Just being Kai, bro. He's a killer.
So what does that mean? Because if we think about the last time we had Kai in the in the finals, Kai, and this is what I'm going to come back to this when I talk about Jaylen Brown. Kai got to benefit off. He got to ISO a lot the last time he was in the finals. I don't think that, and I think the Celtics, because they're a lot of those players over there are his former teammates. I think they know better, and that's just not going to happen.
I'm telling you, he's the defensive scheme.
So
if they stop Kai, they win.
So how is he gonna be productive over 2 for a whole game?
Go ahead.
All right. So I'll go. So earlier when I alluded to that I think it's going to be tough because Mavericks going to have to choose between their offense and their defense. I think the best way to get caught at ISO, you kind of have to play small ball, which they started to do, and get some like the big bodies out of the paint.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, but that's tough. For
That's tough because now
it's dangerous.
For obvious reasons, you saw KP light them up, so now they kind of have to like choose. So it's gonna be tough. Like I don't know how they're gonna handle it.
Honestly, someone's gonna have to trip Kristaps. That's what.
Is there a player
that's what I'm trying. I was just trying to think that
needs to like this is their series to play moment like Kleber. Is it a Kleber series because he can be a shooter to space as your 5, but you don't give up too much rebounding and he can hang in there with the big. Like it's not ideal.
No,
like
I don't want them.
He can't hang. He's not hanging with Al Horford, and he's definitely not hanging with KP. Let's be straight.
One person I'm thinking he plays, but maybe they're gonna have to move him to the center position. Maybe PJ Washington because of his wingspan.
A 6'7" center is
6'7" at the center. I mean,
his wingspan is like 7 foot.
What's the 4 then? Luka, Kai, and then who do you put around him? You had to play Tim and Derrick Jones. That's not enough shooting. You need more.
Oh, maybe Derrick Jones. Derrick Jones. Oh, you think so?
Derrick Jones. You were right.
Game told me he might have to sit down, bro.
He gotta shoot, man. He gotta shoot.
I told you, bro. He might have to.
He gotta shoot.
Maybe Harden's
coming back. Tim's coming back into the starting lineup.
Not in this series.
Running to the rim and trying to dunk everybody. I don't think he could play this series.
He was the first one trying to dunk on Kristaps.
I know. Bro, the way they're playing the defensive scheme against Mavericks, I don't think you can have Derrick Jones out there for 20 plus minutes. Like
you can.
You can put him in there for some rebounding and short stints, but I don't think he can start. I think there's a reason they put Tim in there. I think you're playing with Tim's mind right now, and I don't know if you're going to be able to get him with any rhythm the way you're treating him.
No, but you're not. You might not even stay past this season.
This is the exact kind of scenario where you need him.
Yeah,
he can shoot.
He's 6'6". He spreads the floor.
Whatever.
He spreads the floor.
Let me say this. All right. Wait, were you done, Andre?
Yeah, no, I don't know. The thing is, I don't know if a small ball, because any version of small ball scheme is just telling Kristaps to go get 45. It's just not going to work.
You got to choose between the offense and defense.
You got to choose, man.
I mean, Lively is a small ball 5 anyway. I think like you can still keep him at your 5.
As a rookie, respectfully, he's getting lit up.
I mean, of course.
Nah, he's been very good.
They may not have the play. Nah, he had a lot of fouls in the second half. He had a lot trying to guard KP.
Yeah.
That little elbow shit that KP does, like he's perfected it. He's finally mastered how to not get an offensive foul with it because he doesn't flare. He keeps it like right here, but he is elbowing you in the face. He's fully elbowing you in the face.
Let me say this though, right? That 3 things. This is how the Mavericks win game 2. All that elbow stuff
Coach
and all
Paul
of that.
Segment, play the sounds.
That's a fact.
Coach Paul segment.
Listen.
He drops.
First thing, all that elbow stuff, it wasn't working as much in the second half. Now, part of that is because
wait, let's not go to the Celtics offense yet. We're still talking about how the Mavs can figure out how to score. Because I think that's the biggest issue. Is they can't score.
All right, so 2 things, right? Luka went off. Luka knows how to play, right?
I mean, he's gonna get his.
Right? Kyrie cannot be the Kyrie from 2016. He has to be more of a role player in this series. Luka has to completely dominate. Hold on.
All right, hold on. Let me hear you out.
Luka has to completely dominate and be Jordan in this series, right? Hold on. Kyrie Irving had a lot of open shots that he missed, right? If he makes those, it's could be a different game. It's a closer game for a fact, right? Because he did not play well. We have to get Kyrie open looks, get him in rhythm, and then let's see with the second unit how he performs as the primary offensive player.
Stop it right there, though. What's the right second unit? Because that's exactly what I think I'm talking about. Like, the small ball starters is one thing, but I think the bench unit they put out there was completely wrong. Completely wrong.
I think you say that because Kyrie wasn't playing well. If Kyrie was playing well, then maybe
I think he wasn't playing well because the lineup they had up there's no way for him to be able to get any space. Like the lineup they had up there allows the Celtics to completely lock in on him. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like he can't. There's nothing. There's nowhere he can go. He can't put him out there with Josh Green, Derek Jones, Kleber, and Gafford. Like that's just not a lineup that can play against the Celtics ever.
Yeah.
Like that, and that lineup played like 10 minutes.
Derek Jones Jr. You put him out there for like 2 minutes. If he got it, you let it play. If he doesn't got it, you save him for the rest of the game. He cannot be out there and not shoot. Point blank. No. You can't be out there and not shoot.
I don't think he can start because that's how they got down so early is because that lineup could not score against the scheme. Like I think you got to put a starting lineup out there that can hang with the Celtics starting five from an offensive perspective. You got to put an offensive-minded five out there. Now, they're going to cook, but realistically, the Celtics are going to cook regardless, and that's where we're going to go next. Like, they don't have the personnel to stop the Celtics, period. I think that's what I learned in game one. They just don't. They just don't have the personnel to stop
ill-equipped is the thing. Ill-equipped.
I don't know.
So you have to keep up. Your only chance is to keep up.
Here's the thing, though, right? We say that, but there was a time when the Celtics struggled to score. But the Mavericks struggle to score at the same time.
That's my point, though, right? Like you gotta.
No, but the struggling to score was because of the defense, though.
That was I think that was also a bad lineup by the Celtics. I think they put out a pretty bad lineup out there for like a 5-minute stretch.
But when Kristaps came back in, when Mazzulla put it back in to try and save the game and grow the lead back, it wasn't working out as much. And then Jaylen Brown started to get busy, and then Jason Tatum started to play, making all of that, and then it was a wrap. But if you're a basic kid,
my argument is that's always going to happen. You're never going to find a sustainable way to stop them, which I think is what the next conversation is going to. So we can just get into it. Like I don't know what the defensive adjustment is for them. So that's why I think we're so heavily on. They have to figure out how to score. Because I don't see them stopping them. There's no what can they do?
You can't be physical with the Celtics because they can also be physical. And not for nothing, and I know, Paul, you don't want to hear this. As much as we talk about Luka, there is never a game that has happened thus far where Jason Tatum couldn't just like, fuck it. Here's 40.
So do it.
Let me control the game. Anytime he wants. He can press the button whenever he wants, man.
He's calling it right now. Game 3 in Dallas. I'm telling y'all right now.
I think game 2 maybe. I think game 2.
Nah, I think.
Let me tell you something, Paul. The second this starts going out of hand,
I'm gonna take y'all to class again. Y'all didn't want to believe me. We had a big debate going back to last week's takes. We had a big debate about whether he was gonna.
No. Talk to the person who's disbelieving you.
I don't even remember, but I just remember people in this pod did not believe when I said that it was the wrong idea, and that was you. For him to flip the switch in game 1, that he needed to let them roll from a locker room leadership perspective. His guys are killing. You have to let them keep doing that to establish trust. Let it not work first, and let them come to you saying, "Please save us, big bro." And I'm telling you, that's going to happen in game 3.
Remember,
Luka and Kai are going to go crazy at home, and they're going to take a timeout. And JB and KP and Drew, they're going to look down the bench and they're going to say, "Big bro,
it's your time. It's your time."
He'll have 50.
And can I say this? Remember, the take I said, the caveat was everything I say depends on if KP does not come back. That was the very beginning of everything I said. That is very big. KP is back? Nah. Nah, bro. But there's not. With that being said, I stand 10 toes on this. There is never a time where Jason Tatum is going to let this series get out of hand. And there is literally nobody. The same way, because remember, he's 6'10". We forget that because of the way he plays. He's 6'10". He's 6'10". He can't. What are you gonna do to him? No, what's your plan? What is your plan?
He's freaking huge.
Huh?
KD is 7 foot.
Yeah, but
okay, and what can you do with KD?
He's not huge.
No. What can you do with KD?
Jason Tatum looked like KD when he was a rookie. He don't look like that no more, bro.
But for the record, you like also can't play physically on KD because the minute you press up on him, he's just shooting over you.
No.
He's just shooting over you. I have seen him sketch.
Yes, you can.
I have seen him.
The Celtics did it. The Nuggets did it, and now the Timberwolves have done it.
But when the Celtics did it, Hold on. All the teams that you're naming, every time they did it to him, he still had 30. So can you really? How effective?
Yeah,
is it?
But it was tough, and
it doesn't matter if it's tough. He's still gonna do it.
He lost, is what we're trying to get to.
Because the teams weren't good enough. But the teams weren't good enough. That's not the problem you're running into. No, you're not running into this. The Grizzlies, Russ was injured, so let's not forget that. Okay.
But this is not
with the Celtics. That Nets with the Nets.
Now.
I'm just saying. Hear me out. Because you're saying who they lost. They lost because the teams were good enough. You're not running into that problem with the Celtics. You're just not. This is the better team in the series, and quite frankly. I know people are going to say Luka is better than Tatum right now. I see him as 1A, 1B. I'm not going to lie to you. And they switch on different days. I really believe that.
Yo, but RJ, I think they need him, bro. I think they need him. I don't think that's
disrespect.
They're playing right now is going to work. They need an offensive lineup. I think
you're not from New York if you believe that about Tim Hardaway Jr. By the way,
if you think there's a lineup out there that's going to allow you to effectively defend the Celtics and score well, you have not. That's just you haven't looked at their roster. They don't have a roster built that way. They have to choose one, and I think they should choose offense because their defensive lineup that they tried to put out there,
it's not going to work.
Got cracked. Got absolutely cracked by mismatches. Right?
You got Molly Watts.
So I think you have to put a lineup out there that's going to keep up. A shooting, quick lineup that the way they were over helping on Kai and Luka, you can get burned by the kick out. Right?
Just real quick, I want to ask Paul something actually, because you said when they start losing the lead, the Celtics in third quarter.
Yeah.
Was that? Do you think the Celtics has trouble scoring because of the Maverick defense? Because I thought they were just missing the threes that they're making in the first half.
It was a bad lineup.
That was just it.
They had like Hauser, Pritchard, and I don't know who was it? Hauser, Pritchard, Tatum, Horford. Was that it?
I think what happened is.
Yeah, that's not gonna get it done. You can't put that lineup out there.
I mean, listen. Kristaps was out of the game, and Luka started to go off, and then Jaylen Brown took it into. That's what I was trying to tell you all during the live stream on IG. It wasn't really because of Tatum. Tatum played a part, but by creating gravity. But anybody that could shoot creates gravity. Like Jaylen Brown took the game into his hands. He controlled the game.
We don't have to go back.
We
not
letting them come back. He controlled the game is crazy because he did not, but that's okay.
Jaylen Brown controlled the game in the third quarter.
No, okay. I don't want to go back and forth on this, but controlling the game and being a productive ISO scorer is two different things. We can say Jaylen Brown took over the game for that moment. That's correct. And settled everything down, right? By being a productive ISO scorer. But that you know what he's looking like to me? 2016 Kyrie, the way you said. Like he's better.
Jason Tatum.
It's no timeout. It's not a direct comparison. But we're talking about play style, right? In terms of Kyrie's ability, like I said earlier, to be able to ISO in space. Kyrie was allowed to do that, and that's why his role was just to eat, right? That's what Jaylen Brown has become for this team. He's the player that, for some reason, teams are not sending the double. They've just decided, right? They've decided they're not sending the double. They're going to
That's going to change, by the way.
I think it will, and I'm interested to see what their growth as a team is. But for this year, that's what the teams have decided. With all the shooting the Celtics have, and with Tatum being who he is, teams have decided if Jaylen Brown wants to ISO us, then so be it. They didn't. And to be fair, from years past, I would say it's probably the smart choice percentage-wise. Jaylen Brown on ISO, he wasn't a strong left-hand person. He was a really, 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 really bad turnover of the ball. Like, he had a terrible turnover percentage. So, in the past, it made sense. Yeah, let's load up the paint and let Jaylen Brown ISO us. If he takes mid-range jumpers and step-back threes, you live with that. He's grown this year in that's now his bag, which means he's clearly watched tape and he's been in the gym. But let's not let the fact that he's making all these shots take you away from what the situation and circumstances is. The defense is choosing for that to be the case, right? Yeah. They're saying we're going to live with Jaylen Brown ISO, which means we have to take that into account when he deserves the credit but we can't act like he's doing something against great adversity and challenge. He's doing
No,
his job.
I never said that.
His team is set up for him to be an ISO scorer. The defense is set up for him to be an ISO scorer, and he's getting it done. I think that there's credit deserved in that, but I don't think that means you're controlling the game, right? Because the defense is not reacting at all to what he's doing at all. No change, no adjustment, no shift is happening based on what Jaylen Brown's production is. It's just consistency. That's just what keeps the Celtics sort of afloat at all times, is that Jaylen Brown is getting you 8 to 10 points a quarter, right? Like 6 to 8 points a quarter at the right time. Jason Tatum's play is what makes the defense adjust. It makes the defense rotate. It makes the defense shift. It makes them have to make adjustments.
For everybody else, not but Jaylen Brown.
Sure. Sure. Because like I said, the scheme for him is still just, we're going to leave him on the island and let him see if he can cook.
But here's the thing, though, right? This man RJ is hilarious. Here's the thing, though, right?
Tour dates.
412.
Can I ask RJ? But even though he does, it mentally, when you're thinking about the Celtics scheme,
June 15th.
when you're in rotation, do you think they're rotating off THJ?
That's the most disrespectful I've seen.
Derek Jones. No,
because
sometimes it's not everyone studies the scouting report the way they should, right? So sometimes it's just visual. If you're in the middle of a game and you're rotating and you got THJ in the corner versus Derek Jones, no matter what that scouting page says, mentally when Luka's coming down the lane, are you leaving THJ or are you leaving Derek Jones?
Leaving Derek Jones.
I'm leaving Derek Jones.
If he doesn't show up.
Even if the stats tell me that I could leave Tim Hardaway Jr. mentally, he has a career characterized by making shots. So even if his percentages are down this year, mentally
hit that.
you gotta be elite prepared, elite level prepared to know actually he's shooting terrible this year. I could leave him because your instinct is gonna be, oh, hold on, that's a shooter, right? That's the thing about career shooters. Even when they have bad years, just having them out there, you still get the gravity.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact.
It's a big fact.
Unless they put on a Laker jersey.
Oh no,
that's crazy.
For some reason.
Shout out to
I don't
Hurley.
understand.
Hey,
Hurley is
I wonder if he's gonna leave for real, but we'll see.
Who?
Hurley.
Yeah,
Hey, when we get to the offseason, we can talk about that. But
facts.
We're almost there.
That boy know how to coach now. That boy actually.
Oh, that whole family, man.
Now. That man knows X's and O's now.
Bobby,
and he ain't going. You know what I'm saying? He ain't, that boy will tell you. Now I don't know if he'll do that with grown men.
Yeah.
But
Yet to be seen.
We'll see.
Will he be able to actually coach LeBron? Because
we'll see. Let's not get sidetracked. But so going from that, let's finish off this question of what is the lineup adjustment. We talked about the player adjustments that they need to make. What is the coaching lineup adjustment that the Mavs need to make? I don't think it's on the defensive end because I don't know what they could do. We could talk about it because we tried to talk about what they should do. And Paul, you had a great idea, Coach Paul, that they should switch and replace. But it's almost as if Missoula prepped for that because he did all his switches out of their horns action. Which JJ and LeBron talked about on Mind the Game.
Yeah.
So Mind the Game and Fast Breaks, we're locked in. They defeated that by doing it out of the horns so that the switch happened at the elbow. So you can't do a replace without coming off a shooter literally at the break. And so they just got killed from right there. Also, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum effectively split the hedge every time. Jaylen Brown had a poster dunk off it one time. So now that you see what that is there anything else the Mavs can do defensively? Because that was the best idea we could come up with was a switch and replace, and that's clearly not going to work.
They're physical, man. Like it works.
Not going to work.
With what bodies?
It works to an extent.
Before whether it works with what bodies? Who is going to get physical?
Whoever's out there, because they don't got anybody that's 7'3".
Cleveland doesn't have shoulders.
Yeah.
First of all,
he's getting. It's not gonna.
he
be.
literally is playing without shoulders, like Alyssa Thomas last year.
Listen, you might have to try PJ.
Now they're gonna get the equipment manager out there at this point because they don't know who else to get.
PJ at 5? PJ at 5?
Why not? You got it. It's worth a try. It's worth a try because he can rebound.
We said this earlier. Then what's the 4? Luka, Kyrie, PJ at 5, Kleba at 4, and then who's the last player? Who do you start?
Tim Hardaway Jr. Wait, what are we talking about? Hold on. Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Hardy, right? No, Gafford.
Yeah, I was saying Will Hardy.
Forget that. A whole lot of nothing out there, bro.
Forget that. Gafford's staying at 5.
He's doing a whole lot of nothing, bro.
Gafford's staying at 5. You get Kleba at 4.
Then you're getting cooked. You're getting cooked if Gafford.
They're gonna get cooked either way. I'm giving you their best.
I don't know.
No, I'm saying
they're giving.
I don't know if you can score with Gafford on the floor.
You gotta figure it with. You're gonna have to play 4 out. That's the best. That's literally their best.
Okay, so if Gafford goes your 4,
can't play 4 out.
PJ, Luka, Kai.
What do you mean you can't play 4?
Guy?
What do you mean you can't play 4 out with Gafford? He's
who's
the
5th guy.
Depends who the last guy is.
Yeah, who's the 4th?
Tim.
So take Derrick Jones out and put Tim in. That's what I'm.
Hell yeah!
I think that's what it is. I think that's what
it's literally Luka, Kai, Tim, Gafford, and Kleba. And that's it.
What does leaving DJ mean?
I don't know what that means.
Derrick Jones.
He can't start. No, we are leaving Derrick Jones. He can't start, bro.
We're leaving him on the bench
with him on the floor. Especially if PJ's not gonna make his catch and shoot threes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said Kleba. I meant PJ. PJ instead of Kleba. My fault.
Yeah, PJ has to start. But yeah, if PJ's not hitting his corner.
Sorry. So Luka, Kai, Tim, PJ, and Gafford, and then Kleba as the 6th man.
So you're really just taking out Hardy and putting in.
Hardy doesn't Derrick Jones Jr. start? Am I tripping?
Derrick Jones Jr. starts. That's
Hardy
the only change argument. Hardy plays
start.
garbage.
Green cannot start.
Kyrie, Luka, Gafford,
and Tim.
And Tim. Yeah, we're basically taking Derrick Jones out for Tim.
Yeah, that's the best shot. And then Gafford's gonna be. Oh, by the way,
Josh Green. Start Josh Green instead of Derrick Jones.
No. Right, Josh Green.
He's a little bit more of a two-way player.
He is a two-way player. But
that's the only thing. He's small.
There you go.
He's 6'5".
He's not 5. I thought he was like 6'4".
Nah, he's 6'5".
I think we're ignoring the fact that the Celtics played at home, and Dallas played away from home. Like they played in Boston, so all them young guys had to get accustomed to the finals, like energy and all. Like of course, you know what I mean. So game 2, we're gonna learn a lot. I think. Yeah, that's why I said like in my opinion, game 1 is like you saw something.
I think you can learn about matchup. I think you can take like guys making shots for one thing, and then the floor balance for another. Like you can think these guys are gonna play better. Right, like I think Derrick Jones will play better. I think PJ Washington got more comfortable as the game went on. Right, like I'm gonna give him credit. Like he's gonna continue to play well because he got comfortable. Yeah. Right, I think Lively will get more comfortable. I think Gafford was fine. These guys are gonna play well. It's about how they're arranged. Right, I think the arrangement proved not productive. Right, like certain guys playing too. I'm not saying these guys shouldn't play anymore, except for maybe Derrick Jones. But I think the groups that they played in are incorrect. I think that's Jason Kidd's adjustment. He has to put different groups out there that actually maximize the spacing on the floor, because the Celtics are just a very different defense than the Timberwolves, right? And it looked like they went out there with the same sort of configurations. Whereas the Celtics, I can tell, played completely differently against the Mavs than they did against the Pacers. You could see the difference in like how the Celtics created a new game plan on both ends for the Mavericks, and the Mavericks looked like they were just trying to do what they were doing before.
Yes.
Yeah. That was very clear.
To me, it looked like he did towards like the end did try to tinker with some lineups, because I think he put out like Tim Hardaway out there randomly towards the end of like the third quarter or something. I think he did try to like tinker to see what he would do next game, but it's going to be interesting. But to Paul's point, there is a world where the option is to not change the lineups and everyone just play better. There's a word I can see that because I think I can see how in their mind they thought they just didn't play to their strengths, and all they gotta do is be better, come out with more,
That's a great,
energy, and
they
it'll be good.
could do that. That's a good way to go. That's the way to go 0-2.
That's a fact.
No,
I don't know about that.
No,
Kyrie-
that's a way for game 2 to be close, and you lose in the fourth quarter and be heartbroken. Because you could play better.
It's fair enough.
And it not
If
be a
it's
blowout,
close,
and then you realize, even the best version of the way we're playing now can't beat them. And now you've wasted 2 games figuring that out.
Right.
if it's close
Right.
at any point in the series, I'm giving it to the Mavericks.
If you what?
If it's close at any point in any game,
That's only because you hate Jason Tatum. That's literally only because you hate Jason Tatum.
No, because Luka's better than
themselves to be the best clutch team in the league all year and in these playoffs. They have not lost the game when it gets close.
That's fine.
They
ain't playing. They got a cakewalk. They had a cakewalk in the playoffs. They playing against the Mavericks now. Luka.
I don't care. You have to beat them to beat them, bro.
No.
You're not getting it.
So what happens? Wait. So Paul, what happened? What are you going to say?
It took 51 minutes for Paul to say that. We almost made it.
Beat the Celtics in a close game because they have 2 killers.
So the Mavericks don't. I think the biggest killers are the Mavericks.
Guys that the Mavericks don't have personnel to guard. That's what I'm saying. The Celtics have the personnel to get a possession of a stop. If you telling me I need 1 stop, right? And you telling me I have to get 1 stop against Kyrie, and I have Drew Holiday and Derek White on my team, right? I'm gonna be like, all right, it's tough, but I feel pretty confident, right? Like
hello?
1 stop. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
To get 1 stop, I got Drew Holiday and Derek White to get 1 stop versus Kyrie.
We good.
Now on the
we
other
are good.
end,
These are 2 all defensive players, by the way.
Right,
I'm not understanding this point.
To get 1 stop against Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Who on the Mavs am I like? Okay, I'm not too worried because I got them.
If it is close within any point in any game, that means that the defense on Luka and Kyrie is not working to the level that the Celtics would like.
At all. That's not true
yes,
at all.
It is.
It just means, like, to your point, they're playing well. They're making tough shots.
I think they're gonna continue to make tough shots if it's a close game. Don't let Kyrie get into rhythm.
No, but we're talking about things come down to singular possessions when that's happening, right? Like, so I'm just saying from a confidence standpoint, if I have to get 1 stop and I'm the Mavs, I don't know who I'm confident in to stop players like Tatum and Brown, 6'7", 6'10" wings. They don't have those players.
I understand that.
The guards of Luka and Kyrie, they have 4 players that you can feel pretty confident in getting a stop if it's a late game possession.
Not on Luka.
Well, I'm not saying
that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you're looking at it from a defensive perspective. I'm looking at it from because good offense beats good defense.
I know, but
Luka's that good.
Good offense kills bad defense. So it's just about who's going to get a stop first, right? So if it's a tie game, right, and there's 3 minutes left or 2 minutes left, right? We've been in many 2K games like this. You go back and forth, everybody's scoring, and the first person to miss is going to lose the game.
First person to make a mistake loses. That's how it is.
More than Luka.
Are you joking?
That's crazy.
Are you
crazy.
Are you joking?
That's actually a crazy.
We gotta start talking about Luka differently on this podcast. No.
It's not disrespect.
Luka is different.
It's not disrespect to Luka. It's just a matter of fact.
It's not disrespect to
the shots that Luka and Kai are gonna have to be taking in those situations versus the shots that Tatum and Brown are gonna get. I'm gonna bet more money that the first person to miss in that 3-minute stretch is probably gonna be the Mavs.
Jaylen Brown.
It's probably gonna be the Mavs.
Jaylen Brown, I don't think is a better shot maker than Kyrie and Luka.
He's going to get an easier shot. That's my point. He's going to get a way easier shot.
Yes.
They can't stop them. They have nothing to stop Tatum and Brown. Nothing. So in a fourth quarter, what I'm saying, it's a 3-minute back and forth. Tatum and Brown are going to get exactly what they want every time down. Every single time down, they're going to get exactly what they want.
You're gonna learn.
I can't wait.
I think the problem. Hold on. Let me say this quick. 1 sentence.
Especially Brown.
1 sentence.
Brown is gonna get anything he wants in the fourth quarter against this team.
1 sentence. I think we're overreacting to what we saw in Game 1. I think we act like they have no solution for the Celtics, and I think we're ignoring what we saw the second
So
half.
what's the solution? Tell me what the solution is. I want to hear it.
But the second half, the lineups were different.
Fair.
So you can't count that. The Celtics did something different in the second half, and it didn't work. And when they got back to what was working, it worked again. So let's not lose the context of what happened during that stretch. The Mavs didn't figure nothing out. The Mavs got let off the hook by the Celtics trying stuff out. And once they got too close, they went back to what was working and blew them right back out by 20. That's the fact of what happened. So the Mavs still never figured out how to stop that.
We shall see. Jalen, I think Kristaps, you get physical with him because once they started. First of all, it's crazy. This man just came back from injury. Hold on. It's funny. Kristaps just comes back from injury, and you let him be physical with you instead of the other way around.
That's what I'm saying, though.
That's crazy.
Because look at the bodies that were on him. What is
Kristaps has shown we're overreacting in game one. Kristaps has shown that even smaller players, if you get physical with him, you can bother him. So that's going to happen. That's why I said PJ Washington.
You're ignoring. Are you talking about Kristaps this year, the guy who averaged 20 and 9 on 50% and 40 from 3? Like I feel like people didn't really know the season that Kristaps had. I almost had to remember when they put his stats up that Kristaps averaged almost a double-double this year. Kristaps was a different player this year, bro. I ain't seen no little players bothering Kristaps this year.
Kristaps plays
you think about young KD,
on the most talented team
where a small player could bother him. I think this game, I think that game was, you know who he was trying to prove a point to? That narrative. That exact narrative. I'm a mismatch. You cannot just put no little on me.
We shall see.
I'm going to kill him.
We shall see. Because again, all year they haven't been challenged. All year, including the playoffs, they have not been challenged. And we can't. I'm not going to let that
They've
go.
had close games. We're not going to act like they haven't.
Now, I don't care about that. If you're playing against, if you're the Celtics, like you're almost fully healthy, almost. You're missing one starter, and then you're going. Hold on. And you're playing against a team where their best players out in the playoffs. Even if it's close, you're confident. And the reason it's close is because they're probably not even playing the team as seriously as they should.
But
that's
Paul,
why I said they will play with their food in the playoffs
before the finals. But Paul, they played against this Mavericks team before the finals. You're acting like this is some holy. Yes, you're acting like this is some wholly new challenge that the Celtics have not had to face before.
They blew this team out. Eastern Conference teams do not play each other that much. They
blew this twice. Team out. So
what?
I'm saying they blew this team out.
Okay.
So what? You don't think the Celtics got challenged all year long?
Yeah, I'm like, but even if he does think that, why does he think that now is a challenge? Like, what makes now a challenge?
They're playing against they're playing against a team. First of all, what point in the year did they play the Mavericks?
Already.
The Mavericks were the 5th seed or something, right? They got hot later on in the year, right? At what point
they played them during that period? And bust them up by 20.
Who played if they didn't play? Because I didn't even look at the matchup between the Celtics and the Mavericks.
We could go to it. Like,
okay, let's see. But all I'm saying is, if you get physical with Kristaps, right? Because that's what I saw in the second half, right? They brought in Kristaps to offset what Luka was doing, and it didn't work. It didn't work, right?
Wait, what do you mean offset what Luka was doing?
Yeah, because this man was going off. Hold on. Because this man was going off in the first half. They saw Luka brought it back to 8. They said, all right, it's time for walking this match, come back. They got physical with him. It wasn't working out. Then Jaylen Brown said, all right, I got it. Right? Now, let's see Jaylen Brown do it again. Right?
He's been doing it all postseason.
I don't care. They have not been challenged all season.
Why are they being challenged now? That's the part you're not answering.
Because they're the best team they played
the challenge right now? Where is the challenge? Where is the challenge?
Y'all want to hear about the regular season?
Offensively and defensively, the Mavericks are better than every team they played against in the playoffs. Offensively and defensively.
I guess.
I guess that's a big thing. You can't ignore that.
It's really not because they
wait, defensively, you think they were better than the Tims?
No, he's saying that this is the best team the Celtics have played all postseason. This team is better than all the. Yeah, but I'm saying so what? That doesn't mean that they're that good. It doesn't mean that they're that good, though. It doesn't mean that they're that good. Just because the Celtics had
everybody was injured. What are we talking? Come on, man.
No, Paul, I'm not saying you're wrong about the teams the Celtics have played. I'm saying just because the Celtics have played easier teams doesn't by default make the Mavericks a hard team to beat.
Have the Mavericks played anyone on the Celtics level?
So far doesn't mean that they're a challenge.
Wait, has the Mavericks played anyone on the Celtics level in the postseason?
Nope.
The Mavs have
That's right.
50-win teams.
Because the Celtics have been the best team.
No,
correct.
Time out. But to Paul's point, the Mavericks have beat 3 50-win teams to get to the finals. So their road has been tough. They've had to beat some real teams.
I understand. I agree. But I'm saying we can't discount the fact this is the final boss.
Celtics are the best team in the league, and they have been all
easily.
There hasn't been a singular day of the regular season where they haven't.
Is not the playoffs. And then the playoffs, they haven't gotten challenged.
There's no reason, there's no evidence for us to believe that the Mavericks are anything close to a challenge for this team. Now, the matchup is interesting because they have two players playing really, really well, right? And they had a harder road. But just because they had a harder road doesn't mean by default they present a challenge to the Celtics. I don't care the Celtics haven't been challenged prior to today. That doesn't automatically make today hard. You know what I mean?
It's a fact.
Right. Paul, Al, talk about that game.
And I just don't. Well, just real quick, I don't like the idea. Like, I get it. You're 100% right. The regular season is not the playoffs, but the Celtics have been dominant all year long, and we can't just throw that away. It's not like it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean 66 games you want to throw away. It just means nothing.
You want the stats?
The Warriors
lost.
Paul,
you want the stats? March 1st, 2024.
In the finals, they lost against a great team.
Let me just give them the context because, to the point of they played this team before. March 1st, 2024, Celtics beat the Mavericks 138-110. Everybody plays. Everybody. Right? PJ Washington, 17. We talked about this game on the pod. Derek Lively, 15. Kyrie Irving, 19. Luka had 37, 12, and 11. Sounds pretty similar, right? Jason Tatum, 32 points, 8 rebounds on 10 and 19, 5 threes. Kristaps Porzingis, 24 points, 4 threes. Drew Holiday, 11. Derek White, 13. Jaylen Brown, 25 on 11 to 20. Al Horford and Peyton Pritchard both put in 12 points off the bench. Sound familiar?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I don't know why we think that's about to change.
Because when you play a game, when you play a team over and over and over again, you see nuance. You see little nuances that you could adjust for. It's about construction
at the end of the day, though, and I just don't think they have the personnel to beat this team. They just don't. They need more two-way guys, unfortunately.
I think Luka is good enough and Kyrie is good enough to them two alone just be just complete nuclear forces on the offensive end. And
I agree, but you have to have the right floor balance to do that. The last time we saw that was 2016, and the surrounding players around the two juggernauts looked very different than what this Mavs team is. Very different. You had J.R. Smith, Channing Frye out there, knockdown guys who also were long and could rebound, right?
Well, I think Derrick
Rose Jr. and Maxi Kleber are not those guys.
Kleber can be.
He doesn't have shoulders right now.
So he can't shoot?
No, he literally doesn't have shoulders. He's fresh off surgery. He can't
How long
shoot.
do you have to recover?
I'm saying, when he came back last round, the surgery was I want to say 2 months prior to that day.
Mm-hmm.
They said he warmed up before the game, and he said, it still don't feel right, but I'm going to play. And he's still in that space right now. The man can't raise his arms to shoot, bro.
All right. We shall see. We shall see.
Now, all that being said, I do think it's still going to go 6. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right.
It's still going to go 6, but how do the Mavs get there, right? And I think that's what this episode has been about is what do the Mavs do? Paul thinks maybe they should just play better, which of course I agree.
More physical.
I think me and
What did
Jay
Drew Holiday say? What did Drew Holiday say about guarding Kyrie? He said he needs to pray. The Mavs need to take up that defensive scheme. They're
not going to get stops. I just don't like. They're not
praying.
They're not going to get stops. I don't see them getting any stops for consistent. The Celtics would have to just be playing bad.
They're not.
They're gonna have one. Bad. Honestly, they're gonna have one. They're gonna have one bad game.
In their DNA.
But I'm telling you right now. After
this
game
year,
one,
though.
I'm telling you right now. What did I say last week?
This is not the same team that we've grown up with. This is the different
I'm the Celtics.
team.
If I'm the Celtics, I'm doing everything in my power to make this. They are coming out swinging game 2, game 3, game 4. They are going to try to sweep this team. I know that's always the objective, but it's not that they're just going to try to. They probably believe they can. They fully probably believe they can.
Yeah.
So I don't be surprised if the Mavericks get swept. I'm not going to front. Do not be surprised. Do not be surprised.
I'd be a little surprised that Luka couldn't get you one.
Yeah.
And honestly, he would take a hit in my best player in the world category if you can't. Allen Iverson got one against the 2001 Lakers.
Which is crazy to think about today.
You understand what I'm saying? He got one on the road. In LA.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
really him.
Rarely he did what he could do.
If Luka can't get one, that hey.
Game 2, I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna learn a lot.
Game 2 tomorrow is gonna be.
No, we are. I agree with you. I think we are gonna learn a lot in game 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's an important game. Are we going predictions for game 2?
Yeah, I want to transfer that.
Win by 15 at least.
Do we need to talk about the Celtics at all? Was there anything from the Celtics side that we want to particularly celebrate, highlight, or any adjustments they need to make?
Jason Tatum has turned into
the finals. Even in winning, sometimes you have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum has learned how to be a prime rebounder. By the way.
Yes, that was huge. That was huge. That was huge. That was huge.
11
Especially
boards.
He was matching up against the bigs. That's huge.
Yes.
He's been a triple-double threat for a minute. No.
Oh yeah, Paul. We didn't talk about this off pod, but I've even given you some credence to the Jaylen Brown has been really stepping up and maybe even saving Tatum a little bit this postseason. I've let you get that narrative off this year more than any other years. But then funnily enough, I realized during this whole postseason, Tatum is leading the team in points, rebounds,
every stat. Every single
stat. Every single stat.
I don't know where this. The only thing that Jason Tatum. The only thing Jaylen Brown is doing better. The only thing. I'm sorry.
Everything.
Wait, leading the team in what you said?
Everything.
Points,
rebounds, assists. The only thing he's probably not leading is steals and blocks. I want to check. And honestly, the only thing Jaylen Brown is doing better is shooting the 3. Jaylen Brown is shooting 34%, I think, and Jason Tatum's shooting 27% from 3.
I could see why people think that though. I feel like Jaylen Brown's I don't know, maybe the clutch factor or just the timely.
Because he's being allowed to be an ISO scorer. Is my point.
That's what
right?
You're right.
If you didn't know any better, and if I just
it's shot and timely too
of Kyrie's game 3, 4, and 5 in 2016, or 4, 5, 6, I should say, you would be like, oh, that's clearly the best player in the series.
So now we're comparing Jason Tatum to LeBron, and you said no, we're not doing that. So are we comparing Jason Tatum to LeBron?
Yes. I am.
I am comparing Jaylen Brown.
I'm comparing him.
I saw a secondary player have the freedom to just straight out kill as much as they want. That was the last time I saw it.
Listen, all I'm saying is
the same thing. By the way, there was never a moment where LeBron couldn't be like, "I'm gonna just go get 40."
I'm not gonna call Tatum Brown, but I'm saying that it's that kind of setup that LeBron and Kyrie had, where Kyrie as a secondary player had the freedom to truly just go kill. He didn't have to wait. They didn't have to take turns. Kyrie from the jump didn't have to worry about, oh, LeBron's the best, I got to make sure he gets it. No. Whenever I get it, I can go. I could just go kill. That might turn into me having more shots some nights. That might turn into me having some more points some nights. But I don't even have to think about that because that's the way we're set up. We're I don't have to have second best player thoughts. I can operate as if I'm the best because that's how our offense is set up, right? That's what Jaylen Brown has, and he's maximized it this year. He goes out there and is allowed to be offensively aggressive as if he's the best player. And so he's flourishing in that role. That doesn't mean he's doing the most for the team. And that's why the fact that Tatum is leading in everything is the reminder. Like, no, this is the best player on the team.
Hold on. I look at Luka and Kyrie more as a comparison to LeBron and Kyrie.
It's a similar dynamic, yeah.
I look at that more because the thing is, I understand what you're saying about Jaylen Brown in comparison to Kyrie. I fully understand it, but the problem is I'm not comfortable with that. And I think we shouldn't be making that comparison because there was a LeBron there that did everything. I know Jason Tatum is leading in everything, but he's not taking over the way that LeBron was.
I don't know what this is based on.
Like the team. Hold on, quick.
I understand your point. And I agree with you.
Around Jaylen Brown and Tatum, right, is better than even the teams that LeBron was taking to the finals.
Right, which is why I'm not going to compare Tatum to LeBron, because in doing that, LeBron is arguably the greatest player ever. So I understand what you're saying. The magnitude at which he was doing everything is more than we've ever seen, right? But we can't be spoiled by that to then not recognize when a guy is doing everything. Great example, Jimmy Butler 2020 NBA Finals. Right? Like, that's a guy that was doing everything. Now, was he doing it at the LeBron level? No, because quite literally across the court, LeBron was doing it at a LeBron level, and that's why they won in 6, right? But we can't act like Jimmy Butler wasn't on the other side doing everything for his team. So, yes, that's why I said I'm not going to compare Tatum to LeBron because he's not doing it to GOAT status level, obviously.
Right.
But we can't ignore that's what he's doing. He's doing everything for his team. He's being the best player in terms of he's the most well-rounded. He's having an impact in every area of the floor, and he's getting it done. Now, he's still young. Maybe he'll grow to the point where it looks more like we want it to look, where it looks more GOAT-like, it looks more all-time great-like. But we have to acknowledge the step he's taken, the fact that he's even doing that now. Because he was just the ISO scorer guy.
I'll compare it to Magic.
That's all he was, but now he's the do-everything guy.
I compare him more to Magic than anybody.
Magic?
With more threes.
Jason Tatum?
More threes.
Jason Tatum, that's what you're saying. No. I need him to say it. I need him to say, I compare Jason Tatum to Magic Johnson. Yeah. That's the better. Say that sentence.
I compare.
I get what he's saying, though.
No. I want it on the record.
This is one of those times where I actually do understand what Paul means when he says, "Don't take me."
I know what he means.
I know
but that's
still one of the times.
In the context of what we're talking about, I know exactly what he means by that.
That's crazy shit.
In the half-court offense, he's playing like Magic, but with 3-point shooting aggressive.
I get it.
Not like LeBron.
I get
Andre. What you said is more ridiculous.
What you're saying.
What you said is more ridiculous.
Can we go Scotty?
Yes, we can go.
Okay, Scotty's a good one.
I want to say more because that visually,
because so who we compare Jaylen Brown to?
But again, I'm not doing like because you play this way, that means the player next to you plays like your teammate. Like I'm not doing it that. We're just doing 1-to-1 compare. That's why I said would take like with it because that's what it looks like. The Celtics team is like Kyrie and Scottie Pippen. That's what it looks. It looks like if Kyrie and Scottie Pippen played together, Scottie would have been the best player on that team, but Kyrie would have looked at Kyrie like, "Ooh, are you?"
No, actually, on this take, I actually agree with Paul.
You sure about that?
I actually agree with Paul on this one. Offensively, Kyrie would.
Don't ask me. I'm biased. Don't ask me. I'm biased.
Wait.
I'm biased. Don't ask me. You know where Kyrie from?
Prime to prime. Hold on. Y'all about to do this. Y'all about to tell me prime to No. We're gonna go viral. Y'all are telling me prime to prime. If Prime Scotty and Prime Kyrie were on a playoff team, y'all telling me Kyrie would be the best player on that team?
Kyrie killed the best team on the planet. He killed the best team in history.
Listen, man.
Kyrie killed the best team in history in his prime.
Wait.
This man pulled up a chair.
This is why Scotty talks the way he does, because y'all are crazy.
Can Scotty compare
so much
offensively to
disrespect.
Kyrie Irving?
Oh my God.
Fair.
Y'all was not watching.
Can Scotty compare offensively to Kyrie Irving?
Go look up Scotty's numbers those 2 years Jordan retired, please. I beg you.
I can't hear you.
Go look up Scotty's numbers those 2 years that Jordan was retired. I beg you. Go look up Scotty's numbers with the Trailblazers. I beg you. Y'all are bugging.
It's disrespectful. He's not a studio
Y'all
gangster.
Y'all are bugging out if you don't think Scotty would have been the best player on that team. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Bro, bro, they're wilding.
Can Scotty compare to Kyrie offensively?
I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care what you're talking about. We're talking about the best player on the team. If you don't think Scotty would have been the best player on that team, you're
I don't know.
bugged out.
It's close. It's very close. It's very close. It's close. It's close. That's why I asked you a question to break it down, but you don't want to do it.
Oh my God.
It's close. Kyrie's different. Kyrie's nice.
Oh my God. Yo, is someone pulling up the numbers? Please pull up the numbers.
I'm pulling up the numbers.
Please pull up the numbers. You're bugging.
Are we talking about his whole career without Jordan, or just those 2 seasons? Because his whole career is looking crazy. Like not against your.
Scotty is not like Kawhi.
Of course, because he had to play.
It's not what you think it is.
He was
not what you think.
2019 Kawhi was better than Scotty was offensively.
Because he played as a number 2 most of his life, bro.
Even when he was the number 1. Even when Scotty was more of a point forward, and I get it, like that's important because he was a playmaker, but offensively, putting the ball in the basket, I'm giving it.
So what are the 2 years Jordan was out? Jordan was out what?
94, 95.
94,
95.
Wait, but that's one season. So was it 94 to 95, 95, 96?
93, 94. 96. It's not what you think it is.
No, because they won in 96.
So 93,
93, 90. Hold on. I have the stats. Stop. 93 to 94, Scotty averaged 22. 94 to 95.
Say the whole line.
22.
Don't the points per game.
Okay. 22, 8.7, and 5.6. 1994 to 1995.
2.9 steals, bro. Y'all don't really.
Oh, we're doing steals. Okay, 2.96.
Y'all don't really care about the game at all.
Defensively,
y'all 2 stats. Oh my God,
he's a better stat.
Listen, Farrell. All stats are not created equal, Farrell. Some stats are more important than others. I'm sorry. In my opinion, all stats are not created equal.
I agree with that, but you can't close the picture just because you only want to talk about the most important ones. Like you can't stop at scoring. That's like if a guy averaged 16 but 17 rebounds. If you just told me how much he averaged, I would say, oh, he's an average player. But no, he's not. He's elite. 16 to 17 is an elite player. I don't care what you're trying to tell me. That's an elite player.
Okay, that's fair too. But I think also
MVP's averaging 14 points.
That's fair. I think you're saying is fair, but like also in that same vein, outside of the stats. I think also moments through the pictures, and I have rarely seen anybody play like 2016 Kyrie.
No,
the finals,
next to
because
nobody.
That's why I'm saying it's such a unique dynamic that he had as the second best player on the team. It's rare we've ever been allowed that. That's why Scotty would be jealous. Scotty would have never been allowed to play in the style that Kyrie was allowed to play in. And LeBron has talked about this all the time.
You think Scotty could have did that?
He had the chance.
Who's to know?
He had 2 years to prove it.
No, but that's that's him by himself. I'm talking about being able to do that next to a player that's better than you.
I think, Farrell, you need to.
And I'm saying it's so rare that also we're seeing it right now. Jaylen Brown is the next iteration of he's being allowed to play this way next to a player that's better than him because it works for the team. That's why I keep bringing up Kyrie.
I think we need to give more credit to players that actually produce in that mode, because every player, I don't care how good of a scorer you are, every player can't do that. Every player can't. A lot of
players get allowed to try. There's not
every player can do it though.
I agree with you, but what we have to also acknowledge, there's not a lot of teams that are set up that would allow their second player to move like that. So there's a lot of players that we will never know. There's a lot of players that we will never know.
If you think about it, now that I'm thinking about it, especially recently, a lot of teams that win the chip have that dynamic.
That's not true.
You go back.
That's not
Jamal
true.
Murray, Chris Middleton.
Chris
What? We don't have this is for 2021 Chris Middleton.
It's not the same level, but Chris Middleton did ball out. He balled
Chris
out.
Middleton got the ball in
we have to be
ISO.
specific. We have to
But
be
it's
specific.
not the same level.
The standard
It's not the
is
same
It was the same level. Chris
We're
Middleton
talking
was
about
nice.
how you get to move. We're talking about how you get to move, bro. Chris Middleton was not moving like he was the best player on the team sometimes. Ever.
No, wait,
There
whoa.
was never a game where I watched game and go, damn, Chris Middleton was playing like he was the best player on the team. Never.
No, Farrell's right for sure.
But there was, but there are almost every game you look at Chris Middleton and you say, if he doesn't play like that, they don't win.
Mm-hmm.
He's
getting the ball in
isolation, doing things
that Giannis can't do.
That's not what we're talking about, though. We're talking about something very specific. We're talking about a second best player being allowed to play in an offensive style that
like
is
the
usually reserved for the best player on the team. Being allowed to play with freedom and volume shooting as if he was the best player on the team. That's Jamal a very
Murray's
specific dynamic. Jamal
Chris
Murray
Middleton was a volume shooter.
I will give you Jamal. I will give you Jamal. I'm not giving you Chris Middleton. Hell no. Hell no.
I'm not. See, y'all say y'all laugh because his name is Chris
I'll be
Middleton.
honest, Jamal, he looks like that because of his scoring style, but he picks his spots.
He didn't pick his.
Also, it's different. You know what? Y'all gonna call me cherry picking for this, but this is legitimate. It's different when it's a big guard duo versus wing or guard wing. Because it always looks like that when it's a big guard duo, because the guard has to get the ball the big has to get the ball from the guard. Right? True. It's like Kobe and Shaq. Like, obviously, Kobe got to move like he was the best player on the team sometimes because he has the ball in his hands. Like, Shaq can't get the ball unless the guard gives it to him. So that's almost fundamentally that dynamic. That's why it's so rare for a wing guard or a guard or a wing duo for it to look like that. Because the other guy can get the ball, and yet you're being given the ball. That's why it's so unique. Right? Tatum doesn't have to wait for Brown to get the ball. So the fact that he allows Brown to get the ball, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful by saying allow, but the fact that the team setup is that the ball can go into Jaylen Brown's hands and you can have 7 possessions in a row where Tatum doesn't touch it is very unique. That's very distinct. You see what I'm saying? I can't even give you Jamal because he's the guard and Jokic is the big. Of course, he has the ball. If he decides he wants to go, he's gonna go. Especially in the modern NBA. So that's why I say Jaylen Brown in this setup, he's getting to play a Kyrie role where he gets to just go and have no second thoughts. He doesn't have to think about anything.
Not wrong.
And that's why I think you have to put credit on Tatum. From a mental standpoint, Tatum is taking on all the other responsibilities. Jaylen Brown has to think about nothing but just attack.
Let me just go kill. That's correct.
But now when I think about everything we just talked about, but in the 6 championships that they won together, Scottie never had a chance to go out and do that. Now that I'm thinking about it, there was never no chance.
No, because the ball was never getting to Scottie that many. With Michael Jordan? Are you crazy? Michael Jordan averaged 40 in one of those finals.
There was no chance where they just double Jordan.
Complex did the Finals MVP bracket, and they put like specific MVP years versus every. And I went and I saw that 93 Jordan year, bro. That man averaged 41 points.
It was crazy.
Scottie wasn't touching that goddamn ball.
That's what I'm talking about.
Come on, dog.
Did nobody double him? He was just shooting over double teams. Like,
yes.
I didn't go back and watch good.
Watch Jordan.
That man was not passing that ball for nothing, bro. For Nathan.
But they weren't double teaming.
They weren't, but even if they did, so that man was like, okay, cool. 2 of you can have this. Mom.
His fadeaway is the most unstoppable move in NBA history.
I'd still probably have the sky hook, but
maybe
it's up there.
Dream Shake is pretty unstoppable too, though. We gotta put some respect on the Dream Shake.
Yeah.
Because almost all the moves that guards use now, like the entire modern NBA bag, is Dream Shake derivative.
Yeah, that's a
low key.
Like the footwork of the Dream Shake and the step throughs, that's how all these guards get their 3 points off. Like, we got to talk about it one day.
Okay, you're right. That's a fact.
But yeah, it's unique, man. And I think I'm not trying to take away from Jaylen Brown because you still have to be able to produce in that role because there is a lot of pressure. But we can't look at that and be blinded to what that means Jason Tatum has committed himself to doing. Because if he wanted to, there would be none of that. Right? If he wanted to, he could be out here shooting 30 shots and no one would blink.
Who, Tatum?
Yeah. If he wanted to, he could do that and no one would blink twice.
I mean, people kind of blinked in 2022, but okay.
Because he was missing.
That's a fact.
So I mean, make him miss league at the end of the day. Hakeem would have had 5 rings if it wasn't for Jordan. That's a fact.
That's a big fact.
Did we cover
the biggest part of?
Is there anywhere else you want to go? Did we finish up with the Celtics? I think we sort of circled all the way back to our conversation that we were having on live and put a good button on that. Is there any other aspects of this matchup that we haven't addressed, or any of these players that we haven't addressed?
Put some respect on Drew Holiday's name, bro. I know we spoke about it, but put some respect on Drew Holiday's name.
That's why, Paul, when you said the leadership is the same, I said that's not true.
He's really like that.
Leader, not Tatum.
He is the leader. Drew Holiday's big.
You can have more than one leader.
You can have more than one leader. Don't do that.
He's big, bro.
That's like those people that try to do the Steph isn't a leader on the Warriors thing back in the day.
Yeah.
That's nonsensical.
Stop it. Like, come on. We get it. Draymond's loud. Yeah, congrats. we get it. If y'all think that team don't move when Steph says words, y'all are bugging. Like,
so that Steph is the leader, Draymond was the leader.
You're saying
we just have one leader.
No, actually, I got it. You listen. Steph is in charge. Draymond is the spokesperson.
Committee at a corporate level, executive committee, meaning the committee of leaders.
If Steph says he wants something and Draymond says he doesn't want it, who's getting
Steph?
They're going to tell
it's very rare that it's going to be opposite.
Draymond's getting subbed the game because I've seen it happen.
That's a fact.
You said what?
I said Draymond is getting subbed out of the game, and I've seen it happen. I've seen him talking crazy, saying we're going to do this, this, and this, and Steph look at Steve Kerr, and Steve Kerr say,
Steph
"Go ahead and sit down next to me."
Yes, and Draymond is the spokesperson.
Yes.
That's crazy. No, we're not gonna do that because Dre's IQ. You can have multiple. It's like in football they don't do this, right? In football, there's an offensive leader, there's an offensive coach, there's a defensive leader, there's a defensive coach, there's a special teams leader, there's a special teams coach. There's an acknowledgement that there's a variety of functions and there's leaders at all of that, right? Like the captain of the defense would never step to the quarterback and be like, "This is my team." Are you bugged? The same way the quarterback would never disrespect the lineman or the linebackers and be like, "This is my team. Y'all do what I say." They look at you like, "Nigga, if you don't go throw the ball, like you don't know what we do over here on this side." You have no idea what we go through over here.
And in certain situations, the coach is the leader of every, like Belichick.
That's a fact. But even the head coach sometimes, when that offensive coordinator says, "Shut up, bro,"
he's quiets down.
Then no. In situations like that, the offensive coordinator is the leader, though.
No, it depends on what your head coach's specialty is. Some
he don't gotta say shut up. Sometimes the coach will be like, "Yo, you."
Everything, but some head coaches are defensive guys, so they go hire an offensive coordinator, and when it's offense time, you shut up.
Roles
do what we do.
Roles are delegated, right? That's fine. Some roles are more important than others. We get it, or have more responsibility, I should say, than others, because all the roles are important.
Honestly,
but the leader is the leader.
No, that's not true. I think football is the perfect example of that because everything I laid out, and I wish basketball was more structured like that in infrastructure. But the problem is that all players are expected to do everything, so that model extends to everything else. But I think a lot of coaching staffs would go better if they would just nominally acknowledge that someone is an offensive coordinator and someone is a defensive coordinator, because they do that anyway. Like that's why guys get hired. Like guys get hired to be whenever Mike D'Antoni is hired as a consultant. What is he getting hired for? He's getting hired for offensive coordination, right? Mike Budenholzer, until he got this job, when he was working as an assistant, what was he really doing? He was the defensive coordinator for these guys.
Tom Thibodeau.
Tom Thibodeau. Every time he was an assistant anywhere, he was the defensive coordinator. Like,
it's different.
And if Tom Thibodeau was allowed to really hire an offensive coordinator by name and really just turn over keys to the offense to someone, his teams would probably do better. Same thing with Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni was actually allowed to hire a defensive coordinator who had the authority, just like, the defense is yours. Run the defense. Those Suns teams might have did something, right? Or those Rockets teams might have did something. And matter of fact, everyone knows, I forget the guy's name, but when they were in Houston, there was a guy that everyone secretly knew was the defensive coordinator for the team.
Yeah. Then he retired and all went to hell.
And it all went to hell.
Immediately.
So Draymond was kind of the defensive captain for the Warriors, right? He was the vocal leader. But if you paid attention, that offense functioned around Steph. Even when Draymond was barking orders, he was barking orders about what y'all should be doing for Steph. like he was telling players to go screen Steph. Like, hey, why aren't you screening Steph? Like, hey, hand that off to Steph.
So Steph's running things.
Yes,
but that doesn't mean there's not multiple leaders. Anyway, that was a nice I like that little subtopic. So the Celtics, Jason Tatum is a leader, but I think Drew Holiday becoming a new voice in leadership conversations is important. Same thing with Horford coming back.
Gonna learn a lot game 2, man. Gonna learn a lot game 2.
Yeah, I'm excited for game 2.
I can't wait.
Sunday.
I can't wait, honestly.
I actually had the Mavs winning game 2. Y'all remember I said this is gonna go. It's gonna go split. And game 5 was going to be the big one. So I fully expect the Mavs actually to win this one.
I can see that. I think Celtics going to win this one. And I think we're going to see big scoring from Jason Tatum. I think it's going to be a big game.
Really?
I think specifically they're going to look back at the tape. The Mavs are. And they're going to try to play into class now. Because they're going to be like, oh, okay, we see what they're trying to do. I think he's going to recognize that and go to score. Because he had some opportunities that he's passed up in game 1.
So
which was smart, I think. I can see that though.
Yeah, it could went either way, but yeah.
Any last takes, Paul, Andre? What are we thinking?
Get the brooms out.
Wow.
Get the brooms.
The brooms.
Is that what you predicted?
Me and RJ
before?
Levy-Chen agreed.
Wait, Andre, is that what you predicted before, or is it because of the game?
That's what I predict. No, it is what I predicted before. I've been saying it. No, I've been saying realistically Celtics in game 6 and 6, but also I've been saying I'm not surprised if they sweep them. So I think the Celtics
you hedged it.
I think the Celtics got brooms on deck. If they're gonna do a full thing, we'll see. But ultimately, listen, man. 6 is the most I'm going to give this series.
I've learned a lot from all these playoff series. Do not overreact to game 1. I'm not doing it. Mavericks in 7. I'm telling you.
Mavericks in 7. Let's see it.
My last take, I want to go back to one of these comments that RJ left that I didn't see, but I believe it. He said, this is just proof of concept for Luka. Now they got to go get him a squad. I think that's absolutely right. I don't think he has enough. I think they know what the formula is now, and they have to go get personnel. Because I'm sorry, this roster's not winning a championship, bro. Like, you can just look at it, bro. It's not.
We're gonna talk about it in the off season. When we start doing off season, but they kind of stuck with what they got. I don't know if it's gonna get much better than this.
They're very stuck. They're very stuck. You got to start moving some guys that've been on the team for a minute.
You know what they look like now? They look like a great destination for vet men guys who want to get one.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Remember in the offseason, or remember before when I said don't be surprised to see KD in a Nuggets jersey?
Yeah. Oh my
God! Be flirting with the Mavericks
all over the NBA. You got this man all over the NBA. Oh my God!
You know what I think? You know what kind of this man is up to treach behavior.
He really should just go back to OKC.
This man is up to treach behavior.
You said what?
The moment
hey, yo.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even acknowledge that he said that because that's really crazy.
We don't co-sign that. Wrap it up.
I didn't even hear him. What did he say?
Yeah, facts.
That's mad funny. You heard me. Put that in the promo.
You go double down.
Put that in the promo.
Do we
Hot
even
take
have
specialist
promo anymore? What's good with our promo guy first? I'm breaking the
this
fourth
is
wall
not
this week.
this is not the place.
Nah, I'm
this is
breaking
not
the
the time or
fourth wall
place.
all week, bro. I'm breaking the
We're
fourth
still
wall
paying
all
that
week.
man. What
Behind
do you
the
mean?
curtain. What's
Paul,
going
shout
on?
out our promo man right here. Shout him out, Paul.
Shout him out. Raheel. Shout out Raheel.
Nah.
Raheel, come on.
Nah,
man.
nah. Where's my promo? I'm still waiting on last week's.
So deep.
I
but
got
true.
you. I got you. It's coming.
Yeah.
I got
I'm
one
not even
already.
saying you. It's not even.
I know. But he sent it to me and then said, "Yeah, I sent it to you."
Wait a minute, Paul. Paul, is this a confession of some sort?
Are you sitting?
I said one. We got one. I said we got one. We're not talking about this on the pod. On
Wait a minute.
No,
This
Hey,
is not.
wait a
This
minute.
is authenticity. This is
Wait
authenticity.
a minute.
Where is the promo?
Where's my promo? What the hell?
I could send
We're
one.
paying
I
good
could
money
send
for
one.
this. What do you mean? Wait
I
a
could
second.
send
Nah.
one that was sent to me, bro. I'm waiting on another one. That's what I'm trying to do.
Because we are in the debt of like 4. We're owed. We're owed like 4.
That's a fact.
Two.
Well, this is gonna be a third.
Well,
Nah, because hold on, let's end the podcast. Let's end the podcast. 'Cause I'm about to get tight. I'm about to say something.
Very unprofessional.
They're about to hear some. This family is about to hear some. I mean, Fast Breaks, we are a family, so y'all might. But y'all only got to be. Listen, you don't have to hear the parents' conversations. All right, we'll catch y'all next week.
The parents' conversations is crazy because I don't have no children.
Yo, what is you on today?
I don't
son?
have
What
no
is
children.
good?
No, hey, and if I do,
This has been wild for weeks now.
come find me because I ain't trying to live
I
like
blame
that.
I'm blaming y'all.
But I don't have none. I promise.
That's crazy.
All right.
I mean, it's
This
good.
has been another good episode of your favorite audio adventure, Fast Breaks. We out. Game 2 tomorrow night. Lock in. We're gonna be on in like the third quarter.
Sunday.
Get active in them comments. Light it up. Wait,
Well, it's not working.
we have
It's
to
not
talk
working.
women's basketball. This is a sign. This is a sign.
And this is where Alan cuts him off right
I
here.
almost forgot. We have to talk women's basketball.
Well,
I've been
talk
promising people that we were going to talk women's basketball on this pod.
Liberty.
Let's go, Liberty.
Listen, I think it's only right to start with the Aces because they are the reigning champions of this year. They're going crazy. They're going absolutely crazy. Asia Wilson is looking like the greatest player that's ever lived ever. She's the first player to get 30 and 10 and 5 in 5 straight games in women's history.
This is
And I believe they have the second best record. This is hard to do from my phone.
Who has the second best record?
The Aces.
Nah, they got the. Wait, who's the?
I think the Suns have the Suns have the best
are not.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. Barrow, can I just for you so I can go back to one thing about
Lakers don't even have that nice of a record.
Who?
the Aces.
What about them?
But I was gonna say one thing. I'm sorry, not about the Aces, but it is along women's basketball. Y'all see that picture of Jimmy Butler and Cameron Brink?
Relax.
No.
Relax.
Because this man said, and I quote, for some reason,
relax.
22
Relax.
looks good in purple and gold.
Relax. Oh
wow. Yeah, I thought you was going to take that to a different direction, but okay.
Nah, y'all, I'm not bugging like that. That's crazy.
He said that?
He said,
Wait,
I'm gonna send that to y'all right now.
Hold on.
I'm gonna send it to y'all right now. I'm
He
sending it
said
to y'all
that?
right now. I just sent it to you right now. Go take a look.
That's kind
How old
of
is she?
crazy for him to say. I'm not going to.
What? That's not what we're talking about.
You said it looks good.
No,
The number 22, as in Jimmy Butler's number.
Jimmy Butler's number, guy.
Wait, who's you? You cut off like it was Buffalo.
Jimmy Butler was at the
Sparks game.
Sparks
Okay.
game.
Okay,
And he was
And
talking
he
to
said-
Cameron Brinks.
Is it Brink or
And he
Brinks?
Brink.
Brink, my bad, excuse me. He was talking to Cameron Brink, and he said the number 22, her number, also Jimmy Butler's number, looks good in the purple and gold.
Nah, he wasn't. He said that to a reporter, I think.
Yes.
Oh. My bad. I don't understand. I was trying to go off of what Andre said.
No, I don't know. I guess he said it to a reporter. I'm just going off of the quote that I saw. That's a crazy line to say right now.
Yeah, he said it was during the game, and I think it was he got interviewed during the game.
He's messy.
That's very messy. That's very messy.
If
this is the Sar that Kendrick was talking about, that's dirt. Dirt to the Heat. That's dirt. That's dead dirt.
Heat. I thought you said that's dirt. Nah,
but then again, Pat Riley did tell him to shut the hell up.
22 does look pretty good in purple and gold. I ain't gonna lie.
Nah, wait. This is the plan. This is how LeBron gets back to Miami.
Him and LeBron.
That's pretty crazy.
That's weird.
This is how LeBron goes back to Miami. 3-team trade, and then they trade him back to Cal.
You're bugged out. You're bugged out. Why would he go back? What does he want? He's not going back to Miami. Y'all act like this man don't have kids in school in LA and all his businesses in LA. He's not going nowhere. Like y'all really have him messed up if you think that as a billionaire he really wants to be like living out of somewhere away from his family just to play basketball.
No, you're not wrong.
Are you dumb?
I want to know how they're going to pull this up.
I want basketball as a favor. I want to be right here where my home is. I'm not going anywhere to go play basketball.
That's mad funny.
It sounds like you kind of rehearsed this in the mirror, telling yourself that. Yo, my man just be like, "He's not leaving LA. He's not leaving LA. He's not leaving LA."
Getting back to women's basketball, the Connecticut Sun are 9-0. I actually had it wrong. The Liberty do have the second best record. We're 9-2. Yes. I missed the last couple of games. In the West, the Aces look great, but they're 5-3. Seattle has them beat at 7-3, and Minnesota has them beat 7-3. But here's the issue: the season, the way it's orchestrated, because of the Summer Olympics, is really spread out. So clearly, y'all look at those numbers, and like not all the teams have played even close to the same amount of games.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell. I mean, Indiana for a while played more games than anybody for obvious reasons, having Caitlin Clark on the team, and they burned her out. They had her playing like 4 games in 7 days.
She had a good game last night, though.
She did, and they're 3-9 now. Mm-hmm. But that's because she had like 3 days off for the first time all season. Mm-hmm. Early takes, just as we're introducing women's basketball in this pod. I think the Connecticut's 9-0 start is a little bit of fool's gold. I think they're the same team from last year. I think they're, Alyssa Thomas being healthier is just helping them out, and they're another year of chemistry within their team. But I think, I don't think that there's anyone that should be worried about what they're going to do. I mean, they beat the Mystics, they beat the Atlanta Dream, but Liberty beat them. They beat the Fever twice. They beat the Lynx, which was a good win. They beat the Sky, a young team. They beat the Mercury, a team that's struggling, and they beat Dallas, that's also a team that's struggling. So they haven't really beat anybody. So that's my take on their 9-0. Other than them getting that good win over the Timberwolves over the Lynx. I think New York's 9-2 is similar in that we mostly beat up on bad teams. The Sky, I think we beat the Sun early, which is one of our better wins. I think us beating the Storm was a really good win at home. I was at that game. But we also have some very bad losses. We lost to the Sky in Chicago, terrible. Mm-hmm. And we got blown out by Minnesota, which was pretty embarrassing. So yeah, we it's interesting, and I've mentioned those two teams because we're playing tomorrow at 1, Liberty and Sun. So if you're a women's basketball fan, and that's an important Eastern Conference game to lock in with, it's the 9-0 Sun versus the 9-2 Liberty. All I'll say is, to wrap this up, just get into it. That's the real New York basketball team. Sabrina
that's
Ionescu,
dead crazy.
No, it's not.
That's dead
Sabrina
crazy.
Ionescu has been doing everything that y'all hype about Jalen Brunson doing
one of them.
for the past 3 years.
You're gonna be a Knicks fan at some point. Watch.
I'm really not. I have no reason to be because I have the Liberty. I can be a fan of New York basketball. It's very easy. It's very easy. Okay. But man, y'all have any takes, man? Are y'all gonna start tapping in more women's basketball, or am I just gonna have to come on here every week and do a 10-minute segment by myself?
I'm gonna start tapping in. We're gonna start tapping in.
Need some post moves, man.
Talk about it.
She's very raw, and I saw that at LSU, man. Like she's like she's like 6'3", and that's huge in the WNBA. So the thing is, like, she uses her body a lot.
It's not that huge though. It's big. But like, there's some 6'5" girls out there.
No, there are.
Cameron Brink is 6'7", like for real.
Right. There are, but most of the bigs are like around Angel Reese's size. So
yeah.
So that's a good point. She can't use her size as much in WWE.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So
she's regular.
She got to get some post moves, all of that, like running into people, getting boards, just throwing the ball up at the. It's not gonna work as well, man. You know, you gotta get a consistent mid range at the very least. Then she could be like a forward, like a modern day forward. You know what I mean? So.
In contrast, Cameron Brink looks like her game was actually more suited for pro, right? Like she seemed like I didn't.
Usual Watkins' game looks like it's more suited for pro.
Well, of course, we can tell that on rip. But I didn't necessarily get that from Cameron when she was at Stanford. But, like, it's clear, like, she shoot, dribble, pass, dynamic player. I think they got to get some really good guards around her. And that team is one to look out for in the future.
Just one quick question. When are they eligible for draft? Is it like 22 or 20, you know?
I think it's 4 years. I think they have to – I think it's 22, 4 years.
Okay.
I think it's 4 years or 3?
I think it's 4. I haven't seen anyone come out after 3.
Because
and a lot of them do 5. That's the crazy thing. A lot of them do. A lot of them use that extra last year, or at least the COVID year that everyone's getting.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen too many players turn down their COVID year. Angel turned hers down. Cameron obviously turned hers down. Aaliyah Boston did it though. Aaliyah Boston took her COVID year.
Yeah. All right, so we'll see. I only brought that up because I was just pondering about if the Fever gets the number 1 pick again. That's going to be interesting.
Well, Juju's not going anywhere. That's the question.
Juju I know it's not Juju, but Paige.
Got at least 3 more years.
Yeah. Juju just finished her freshman year, but I was thinking.
What we need to be talking about is who gets Paige next year.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a good question.
That's the question. It's the Paige sweepstakes, and I feel like the hype about that is not going to start up until probably the fall after the season is over. But apparently she's been in the gym. I've seen a lot of tape. And I think this is going to be a little controversial, but I think Paige is going to be more pro-ready than Kaylin is right now.
I think so, too.
No, it's not that controversial.
Right now
it's fair. Okay.
I think upon getting drafted, Paige will be more pro-ready than we see Caitlin Clark is right now 11 games into the season.
I mean, hey. I think the more controversial thing would be to say she's going to be better in the long run. That's more controversial.
I would not be surprised if that happens either.
Okay,
I'll put my cards on the table. I was rocking with Paige since high school. I was rocking with the whole Paige, Haley, that whole class when they was coming out of high school. I was rocking with that whole class. So I was.
I started hearing about Paige
before I even heard about it.
Yeah. Me too. I heard about Paige well before Caitlin Clark, honestly.
Well before.
High school.
Yeah.
So I think Paige is one of them ones.
I think Caitlin just needs to get a better team around her.
But they got 2 number 1 picks other than her on that team already, and they don't play through. They don't play through Aaliyah. But I don't know what I don't want to talk too bad on their coach, but I've watched them in person twice now because they've come to Barclays twice to play Liberty. So I've watched them in person how they play. I don't understand what the hell they're doing. It doesn't make any sense because they've got Aaliyah Boston, who, granted, is like needs to get a little more physical and a little quicker because she has all the moves, but if there's a big body on her, it sort of takes away the smoothness of her moves. But even in that, she draws fouls really well, right? But they don't play through her at the post. They run a ton of pick and roll, but not for Caitlin. And then they do a lot of handoff actions and a lot of standing around. Kelsey Mitchell is a great scorer and shooter. They should have her bringing it up and being the point of attack, and they should be running Caitlin off pin downs and curls.
Yes.
As a 2 guard.
Yes.
But they have her bring it up. The defense gets to all put their eyes on her. And then when she gives it up after a high trap, they don't have any relocation.
She's a great passer.
And there's no slip. and then she just goes and stands in the corner as a decoy for the rest of the possession. They don't have any off-ball movement for her at all to create any rotations. And they just have all these other players attempting to do mid post work. They don't fight hard enough to get Aaliyah the ball down low, and they don't run enough for Kelsey Mitchell. She has to eat all of her own in ISO, and she gets it done. But yeah, I just don't think they really have a tight system. It doesn't make sense. They have some talent. They need more, obviously. But between Kelsey, Aaliyah, and Caitlin, for y'all not to be at least offensively good, right? Like, I would understand if they could score, but they couldn't stop anybody. That'd be one thing. But between Kelsey, Caitlin, and Aaliyah, y'all should be able to score. Y'all shouldn't be scoring 50, 60 points a game. That doesn't make any sense. On the Spurs. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Well, no, but even she has more help than Wemby does. Wemby don't got another top draft pick on that team. There's a whole other overall number one pick on a team, and then Kelsey Mitchell is one of the top college scorers of all time. Like,
don't worry, Trae Young is on the way.
That's crazy.
Trae Young is on the way.
Know what they're trying to do. But yeah, I think. I mean, if LA gets Paige,
that'd be crazy.
Paige and Cameron is the problem.
I'm saying
the Great White Hope.
The Great White Hope is crazy, but it is what it is. But tap in next week. We'll have more of this interesting conversation.
Yeah, no.
Tap in next week.
Definitely tap in about game 2. We're gonna tap in with the results of this Liberty Sun game. Y'all watch it. I'm trying to get us to do a Fast Breaks link up at the Liberty game in Barclays.
Oh, let's do it. That's a great idea.
We're gonna need merch though.
You said we're gonna need merch? All right.
Yeah. Let me push it there a little bit. I can't get the merch right now. Not right now.
Absolutely.
So we got the Olympics is gonna cut the season in half, so we can roll to a late season game. Maybe cop some playoff tickets. We got time to get the merch.
Yes, that'd be fine.
I wonder how much it's gonna be this year. Because the tickets are going up all over the league.
But I got some. Listen, I got a person, so we can figure it out.
Hey,
we gonna find out.
Figure it out.
We gonna find out.
And I also have a cameraman that I got a nice relationship with, so we can get that promo if we get some merch. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
That's it.
You understand what I'm saying?
Let's find out.
Sure.
Let's find out.
Just get it then.
All right.
Fast we out. Content coming soon.
Time to cut it.
I'm ready this time. It was a big one before I got it.
It's been Fast Breaks. Deuces. Light it up.
Peace.
Come on. It's Fast Breaks.
Listen.
Another one. Fast breaks, yeah, we coming with the takes. Never early, never late, but we always push the pace, yeah. And we really study tape, y'all just view the highlights. Man, we really watching games, yeah. You just watch from the stands. We run 3-man weeks, Paul, Trey, and Allen, yeah. Way more than a fan. We got love for the game. We don't have to pretend. Got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. I'm the run the fast break. Throw me the outlet. Yeah, we got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. Time to run the fast break. Throw me the outlet.